The whisper didn't come from the walls. It didn't come from the floor. It came from everywhere. And the thing in the house said, "It's too late to leave now." The walls shook as the house drew in another breath. This wasn't fear. This wasn't panic. This was survival. I felt the weight of the air. The walls weren't just moving anymore. They were pulsing, breathing, drawing me in. My phone buzzed again. Another message. But this time, the waveform didn't match any sound I knew. It was darker, thicker, like the room was pulling its own breath into it. I pressed play. It was a whisper. Not from the phone. Not from the walls. It came from the floor beneath me. "I hear you." A cold wave of air hit my face. Chill, like a hand brushing past. But I couldn't move. I looked down. The floor was shifting, bending. Then, a shadow slid from beneath the wooden floorboards. Not human. Not animal. It was something else. The phone buzzed again. A second message from the same unknown room. But this time, it wasn't just the house that was listening. It was learning. I saw it then. A hand. A pale, thin hand. Reaching through the floor, stretching up toward me. I couldn't scream. Couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. It knew my fear. It knew how I felt. The air thickened. The walls cracked open. And then it whispered again. But this time, it wasn't my name. It was my voice. The hand didn't just touch the floor, it moved through it. Like the floor was no longer solid. Like it was a part of the house itself. A part of whatever was alive here. The air turned cold. I could hear it then. The steady pulse of the walls. The house breathing in rhythm. But it wasn't just breathing. It was listening. I heard my own voice. Soft, familiar, whispering my name. Not from the walls. Not from the phone. Not from the hand. But from the house itself. "I'm waiting." The moment I tried to move, the hand grabbed my ankle. It was ice cold. Dry. Bony. And it pulled. Not violently. Just steady. Determined. I slammed my hand down on the floor, desperate to push back. But the wood beneath me was softening. It was warping. Becoming something else. Something that didn't feel like wood at all. The whisper came again, clearer this time. "I know you hear me." I ripped my foot away. But it was already too late. The house exhaled, and the walls shuddered. I backed into the corner, my phone vibrating once more. The screen glowed. A new message from the unknown room. I didn't want to open it, but I did. A single line of text appeared. "You answered. Now I answer you." And then the house spoke, louder than ever before. The whisper didn't come from the walls. It didn't come from the floor. It came from everywhere. And the thing in the house said, "It's too late to leave now." The walls shook as the house drew in another breath. This wasn't fear. This wasn't panic. This was survival. I felt the weight of the air. The walls weren't just moving anymore. They were closing in. My phone lit up one last time. Another message from the unknown room. The message wasn't text. It was just a single line of sound. A knock. Louder. Sharper. Deafening. I looked around the room. The shadows weren't shadows anymore. They were alive. They were moving. Every corner, every inch was breathing. I ran to the door, yanked on the handle, locked. The thing that was waiting. It had learned too much. It had learned my timing, my hesitation. It had learned how I react. I slammed my fist against the door, desperate. Another knock came. From inside the walls. The house was now fully awake. The knocking kept coming. One knock. slow, deliberate. Then it stopped. I waited. I couldn't hear it anymore. Not from the walls. Not from the door. Not from the floor. I thought I was alone. But I heard it. Right behind me. A whisper. Low. And then it spoke clearly. Now it's your turn. I turned. The door slammed open. It wasn't just the house anymore. It was inside me. The last knock wasn't from the house. It was from within.